good, everybody? Welcome in to Early Edge Live, your daily sports betting brand of record. And we are counting down to the start of Week 14. Can you believe it? That's right. Tonight, it's an all-cap. Oh, wait. The Raiders are no longer in California. It's the Raiders on the road, about an hour from where I'm sitting right now in SoFi Stadium. And the Raiders, who are on a 3-game winning streak. They're 5-7, very much alive in the playoff race, but they cannot stumble down the stretch. Not even once. But the Rams, all they do is stumble these days, ravaged by injuries, 6 straight losses. Baker Mayfield is active tonight, released on Monday in Carolina. How in the world does he play tonight, and how do we handicap it? What are the props going to look like on the Rams side? Well, you know I got the best crew in the business. Let's bring in the stars of the show because, on a Thursday night before a primetime game, look at these beautiful faces. Where do I start? Well, first and foremost, live from parts unknown, he goes by one name and one name only. You saw him today on the prop shop. Prop stars, good evening, sir.
Coach, cousin Sia, AB, great to see you. And I'm a little disappointed with the great Snake, who has my name as prop stars. I believe I'm now being referred to as Proppy 2 times after my last appearance on this very stream. Monday night, I got my second entry into Club Cachet, Coach.
Whoa. I know I was off for a couple of days. I know I had to go take care of a little business in Florida. But did I miss somebody getting to the club for a second time?
You missed a Taysom Hill 30-yard touchdown reception, making me the first 2-time champion this year, as well as the first member of the club this season. So I have just been collecting hardware left and right, coming for that 3-time title that Sia likes to remind us every single show he has.
I was going to say the only person that could be more frustrated than me would clearly be Sia because he hasn't even got in one time all year. But he is still the most handsome man in all of the Early Edge universe. Please welcome to the show, everybody, Mr. Sia Najad. Sia, good evening, sir.
I'm very excited for this game. For those of you that don't think like the Rams and Raiders are going to be exciting, we only have so many Thursday night games left. So capture this, embrace it. This is going to be great. Alex, I'm actually very happy for you. I'm hoping you can remind me what it's like to win just the 2 times because I hit it the second time, of course, last season. And then so quickly I hit it the 3rd time with Hunter Renfrow, when Tyson Williams and Donald Parham, as you remember, of course, and then Hunter Renfrow. And I didn't really get to capture that moment where I only hit it that second time. So I don't know, maybe we can talk after the show. I'd really appreciate it.
Be my pleasure, Sia.
Thanks.
And finally, from Nashville, Tennessee, 8 floors below. He's our 5-tool player. He runs the brand these days. We call him AB. And he's also apparently can talk whenever he wants in the prop shop, I guess earlier today. AB, good evening, sir.
Yeah, Coach. First off, while you were handling business, which obviously was necessary, you see what you left me with here. Those two going back and forth. Second, I want to say Greg Morris in the chat really quick had an excellent comment. We need a UMass Lowell implosion. And
what are they doing?
Well, let me say this. 1, correct. 2, Greg, your lifestyle is my lifestyle. I absolutely love it that on a random Thursday night, we are pulling heavy against UMass Lowell on this one. All right, so I enjoyed that one. Number 3, I do have to give a little inside baseball. Sia was the first on the group text to congratulate Prop Stars on getting in the club for the second time. So, well done, sir.
A, I don't care. B, when the email came out a full, what time is it right now? It's like 7:30. So Snake's sending it out at least 8 hours ago. So I'm just sitting here at my desk, this beautiful studio that CBS that was so nice to build for me. And I'm all of a sudden, it goes ding, and my email comes up. And it's like 10:30 a.m. I'm like, what could – and somebody had already turned their gym pick in 8 hours early first. Now, only a man that is desperate to get into Club Cachet would turn it in before noon Eastern time. But alas, I'll let you guys at home figure out who that person was this morning.
Well, I'll tell you what, I could comment second on said person because he said just a minute ago that we only have so many Thursday night football games, for the rest of the year, which is correct. However, there's one person on the planet that is absolutely ready for these Thursday night football games to be over, and that is Al Michaels. I don't think he's having fun anymore. I think he's ready to be finished with all this.
Go ahead, Alex.
Coach, I think we need to ask the chat something. I think the chat needs to come up with a creative punishment if one member or fixture of this very show does not make it into the club this year. They should have to do something on or off stream for the good people. So I think the chat should potentially contribute some ideas that we select.
Can I add one? Can I add one?
Of course.
And this one's just for me. If Mikey doesn't get into the club, he has to Venmo me what he wagers on these games.
I wish you guys were privy to our thread at home on what Mikey and his partners do on a daily basis.
It's insanity.
It is next level gambling and is way out of our price range. That's all I know. All right, but yeah, here's the thing. I need people to do two things. We need 500 likes to get the goose. We're not just going to give it away. But also, if you have an idea for somebody who does not get in the club this year, and I know we're coming in a little late to the party. I'm already in, so I'm out of the contest. But we have a couple people who are. Just throw them in there. And I'm not saying we're going to do it. But if you come up with something good, we might do it. Now, we wasted enough time. Let's get into it. We're going to do our best bets as we always do. And then if you have a prop that you like, that you're thinking about, that you don't really want to pull the trigger on, put it into the chat. Give me the juice as well. My guys need it. It's very, very important. But gentlemen, we got to give out our best bets for this game tonight first. And see ya. As I'm standing here earlier today on the prop shop, this guy was asked about not once, but twice. People are really high on Mr. Higbee, and apparently so are you. Start us off.
Oh, that sounds great. I'm actually going to. I'm hearing that AB might have interrupted the prop shop today. I'm gonna jump in there next week and interrupt because I feel a little left out. You have to do it
4 times in order to match him today.
Oh wow. Well, I don't think I can live up to that. But yeah. Good stuff, Alan. Okay, so yeah, I like Tyler Higbee here, and a lot of it is because of the uncertainty at the quarterback position. I'll be honest. This is a hard game to handicap for very obvious reasons. We don't really know what's going on at the quarterback position. And even if we did know what was going on, it would still be kind of up in the air as it pertains to the receivers and the quarterback. But what I'm fairly certain about is that you have the most reliable target, the tight end that's going to be in the middle of the field, probably in that short area range, and really the most reliable pass catcher on this Rams offense. It's Tyler Higbee. And so his yardage total is 27.5. It's -110. It's a very reasonable price. I think it's in a reasonable amount of yards. I really think whoever is playing quarterback through the 4 quarters for the Rams, I think Higbee is going to be one of the first reads on a lot of the dropbacks. Now, granted, the Rams are probably going to want to run the ball a lot on the Raiders. Maybe the passing volume is down just a little bit, but I think Higbee could be the leading target getter. In the last 3 games, he's had 5, 8, and 8 targets. And actually, I should point it out, the last 4 games, 5, 8, 8, and 0 targets. Against Kansas City, he had 0 targets for some reason. And I think that might have been the knee injury. But he is really coming on from a target standpoint in those other 3 games, averaging almost 7 targets per game. So I really like him here to go over 27.5 receiving.
Somebody's going to have to catch some passes tonight. You never see an NFL team, no matter who the quarterback is, and we still don't know who technically will get all the playing time with Baker Mayfield being active. But this is a low number for a guy that definitely can get over it. By the way, quick idea from the chat. I don't mind this one about the club cachet. If Sia doesn't get in, we get to pick his attire for a prime time show.
Ooh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That one. I kind of like that one. All right, so we'll marinate on that one. So that's our first bet. We're going to go first best bet, Tyler Higbee over 27.5 receiving yards. Now the other side, people are asking in the chat if today, Alex, you had an official best bet on the prop shop. You didn't, but you did say tonight, I love this dude. Who am I talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about the great Davante Adams. Give me him over 88.5 receiving yards. This guy has been absolutely phenomenal, especially recently. He's averaging just a tick under 100 receiving yards per game. He has really come on strong, though. Over the last 5 games, he's averaging close to 14 targets and 135 receiving yards per game. He's eclipsed this in 4 of his last 5 games. He's had at least 100 yards in 7 games this season. He and Carr are really starting to form some tremendous chemistry together. Plus, he is just a target monster. This is also a good matchup against the Rams. The Rams defense has actually been really stout up front, but they've really struggled through the air this season. They are 29th in passing DVOA. They've given up the 9th most yards to opposing wide receivers this season. They've also bled a ton of production against opposing number 1 wide receivers this year. They're 31st in DVOA against number 1 wide receiver. So this is a good matchup for Davante Adams. I love the way that he's being deployed all over the field. Early in the season, it was a bit frustrating just watching him run go route after go route. Now they're finally getting creative with him, lining him up in the slot, lining him up out wide, and just kind of taking advantage of his ability to run every single route. Davante Adams is an absolute superstar playing just tremendous football, and they are leaning very heavily on him, and this is a great matchup for him. So I love him over 88.5 receiving yards, which is available on all the major books. I'd play this one up to 92.5, but I believe you can get this 88.5 number pretty much everywhere.
And what makes his performance even more spectacular is he doesn't have a number 2 on the other side for him not to get double teamed, and he's still going bananas. Now, I know Alex gives you a lot of numbers, but how about these 3 numbers for you? The last 5 weeks, 41 catches, 664 yards, 7 touchdowns. That's just the last 5 games, ladies and gentlemen. So until he stops doing this, we are going to back him 100%. Alex, thank you very much. Now, the Maestro couldn't be here tonight, but he did send in a play earlier today on the morning show. If you didn't watch it, Mac Hollins over 3.5 catches, minus 119. Somebody else has got to catch the balls tonight for the Raiders. Why not be Mac Hollins? Now, AB, I don't know if you had a lot of caffeine today, but you just been wanting to spit out Chick-fil-A nuggets. Now, the floor is yours. I know you have multiple plays. We're going to get out of the way and just let you do what you do. Give it to me.
Yeah, my parents did the same thing. Just get the hell out of my way. It's generally the easiest and best thing to do. I just showed Maestro on the TV. I believe Emery's on there right now. But look, we've got 3 plays. Here's how we're going to go about it, okay? First, Raiders, team touchdowns over 2.5. All right, this is a team that has to win without a doubt and get into the playoffs, have a chance at it. They are going to give every single ounce of doing that. And in doing that is scoring touchdowns. Number 2, if you have noticed, the Las Vegas Raiders about 5 weeks ago against the Jacksonville Jaguars, you remember where they were up 20-0 and then lost because they scored 0 points in the second half, right? The Jaguars came back. Well, you know what? They fixed that, and they have covered this number every single game since then. We're going to take Raiders' second half team total over 11.5 because there are no breaks for the Raiders. You just continuously go. Lastly, we're going to play Cam Akers, longest rush over 11.5 yards, because in a game script like tonight where the Raiders could be playing from ahead, yeah, you would think it's going to take away from the Rams' run game. No, they stick with it. And look, there's going to be some open draws, things like that to get Cam Akers. I don't want to play full numbers, even though I don't hate it. It's in the 40s. But I think he'll bust one that at least goes over 11.5 yards. In the chat, our man Slick Rick said tomorrow is his birthday. Buddy, I tell you what, 1, happy birthday. And 2, y'all are asking if I was drinking these little tanks, these little hugs. Let me tell you, Rick, got you a present, buddy. Take a look. I got you a whole box of them. All right? You got 1 million of them right here. We're going to hit these 3 bets. And happy birthday, Slick Rick.
Oh, my God. Slick Rick, happy birthday from the Early Edge crew. We appreciate you and everybody else taking the time on a primetime Thursday to hang out with the best crew in all of sports betting, and it's not close. Now, the final best bet comes from the stoic one, R.J. White. He's on the Raiders +6, +6.5. And see, I'm going to come to you because we haven't even talked about the total. We haven't talked about the side. But sometimes when it's an obvious play, like tonight, Raiders is an obvious play. Sometimes it's right there in front of you. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, so I think you might have said +6.5. So he's on the Raiders minus 6.5.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Of course, I really had a hard time resisting that, Coach, and I understand where RJ White is coming from. I do want to say there is some money on the other side of it. So, I mean, he got it at 6. That's certainly a better number. This is such a stay away for me, but I got to be honest, if I had to bet this, it would be the Raiders side because this thing could really get out of hand. The one thing from the Rams that I thought was at least a little bit encouraging was how they played last week. Bobby Wagner just kind of gathering the troops on the sideline and really kind of giving them a pep talk when they were down and probably should have been out. I think guys like Jalen Ramsey and Bobby Wagner are really going to show up. I actually, my official play was almost, or at least one of them, was almost the Raiders -3 first half at -115. But I just couldn't get it out of my mind that I thought the Rams were really, going to be able to scheme early and have some of those scripted plays be actually pretty efficient, but also that defense really played with some pride last week. So that's why it's a stay away for me. Could this get out of hand and get away from the Rams? Absolutely.
No question it could. Man, I already played the Raiders like 12 hours ago. I was not going to wait for it to get back to 7, and it hasn't got back to 7 all day long. By the way, do you guys check out who's in the chat? Speaking of birthdays, one of our favorite bosses, Noah Stanley. It's his daughter's birthday. Everybody say happy birthday to Noah. What's Noah's daughter's name, AB?
Well, I wasn't going to say it on the show, but happy birthday to her, and I hope school is going well up there. All
right, very good. Happy birthday to her. We're thinking about her as well. Noah's always a vital part of what we're doing here at the Early Edge 24/7 Sports Line. All of it. We're all one big team. Now, let me come back to you, Alex, because a lot of questions we got today on the prop shop was about Mr. Josh Jacobs. And we talk about sometimes going back to the well until the well runs dry. Well, when I look at these numbers, last week, 144 yards on the ground. Week before, 229 on the ground, 74 in the air. The dude's got to be tired at this point. Do we still play his number? It's at 90 on the ground. That's high for a running back in the NFL.
I want nothing to do with it personally, Coach. I just think on a short week, this guy has been on the injury report for the last 3 or 4 weeks. He was close to a game time decision last week. Just massive workloads. This is a guy that has not ever experienced workloads this big throughout his career. He's kind of capped around 15 to 17 touches throughout the majority of his career. And then they have just rode him so hard all season long. We look at the last 3 or 4 weeks, he's eclipsing 30, 35 touches in these games. And then you're only giving him 3 days rest to get ready against a very stout Rams defensive front. I know there is no Aaron Donald tonight, but again, look at how they performed last week against Seattle. I know Kenny Walker got hurt, but they completely shut down Seattle's run game. I think this is just a tough spot to back Jacobs just on a short week when he has just had massive workloads consecutively. I just want nothing to do with it. Honestly, if Aaron Donald was playing tonight, Coach, I'd probably consider fading him, but stay away from me.
All right. We say it all the time. For those of you that are brand new in the chat or brand new to the brand, sometimes the best bets you make are the bets you don't make. You don't have to bet every one. You don't have to bet every player. AB, go.
Well, I was going to ask, would you like an offensive Chick-fil-A nugget or a defensive Chick-fil-A nugget of the Raiders?
Both.
Okay. First, offensive. The last 2 games that your man, Davante Adams, has played against Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey has him usually in single coverage. It's a hell of a matchup to watch. 8 passes have gone to Davante Adams. 8 passes have been recepted and caught by Davante Adams. He has done work against Jalen Ramsey last year with the Packers. He went for over 100 yards. Second, the Las Vegas Raiders have allowed 17 red zone opportunities to the other offense. I'm speaking about the Raiders defense. 17 this year. You know how many touchdowns they've allowed?
How many?
17. They've allowed it every single time. So if the Rams get down there, look for it. Yeah, I mean, that's been the golden goose. Just get inside the 20 and you're usually gold.
All right, real quick question, Eric, and then I'll come to you, Sia. Eric says, AB, is there a reason you like the second half and not both halves for the Raiders team total bet?
Yeah, so really it goes back to, if you go and look since that Jaguars game, the Raiders have made it a focus to finish games. They sometimes start quite slow. We saw last week against the Chargers. They didn't score a single point until they threw a pick 6 to the Chargers in the first quarter. So they can start fast tonight. I'm not saying that they don't, but over the last 4 or 5 games consecutively, it's been inconsistent the first half. Second half, they've hit this number every single time they push it in the second half. And remember, Josh McDaniels really doesn't believe in kicking field goals all that much. So they pushed it to the limit. They go for it. That's why I like the second half. I'm not saying don't play the first half. It could hit for sure. But second half has been their bread and butter.
I think they're going to score between 10 and 17, and then they really will turn it on in the second half. I love that play. See what do you got, bud?
No, I was just going to say, as it pertains to the red zone stat that AB just shared, it's very interesting. But the question is, can the Rams actually exploit that? Because again, and so I think this, like, I'm starting to convince myself a little bit of the Raiders bet. Again, not a bet I'm recommending, but as it pertains to like RJ's bet of -6, how many times are the Rams going to be in the red zone tonight? And when they get in the red zone, is that stat going to hold up with John Wolford or Baker Mayfield or Bryce Perkins at quarterback? So it's one of those things where if that's the Raiders' weakness, I'm not sure this is the team to exploit it. And so I always like want to consider those things. Where are the Raiders failing? Can the Rams actually take advantage of that failure? I think the answer is no.
Here's the thing, and Alex, I'm going to come to you. Jay Kane, by the way, yes, Alex will have other props. He works full-time, year-round for us. So don't worry, he's not stopping with football. Trust me on that. But Alex, if we believe BGK Holiday 37, and I'm not saying he or she is wrong, but he just said, I'm hearing Baker Mayfield will start tonight, which to me is mind-blowing. How does he even know the playbook at all? And then they said, oh, he's picking it up very, very fast. These are complicated plays, complicated calls. So right now, I've just looked at my sports book. I have no Baker Mayfield props, no quarterback props for the Rams. Is this even if they pop up, what would you do with them?
Just a complete stay away. I mean, without knowing the numbers, we're just speculating here. We're definitely not going to see any Baker Mayfield props pop up within 45 minutes here. But yeah, just a really tough spot. Like you said, Coach, coming in with a couple of days of preparation. We know Sean McVay is well documented how complex his playbook and the offensive schemes that he runs there. So I think Baker's just going to have probably 5 to 10 plays that are pretty simple, where he's got a few audibles that he's familiar with and just kind of build off that. We're just going to see him just really relying on the ground game. The Rams have been running the football a lot, and then just kind of focus on checking down and just looking at the tight end, which is why I really like Sia's play of Tyler Higbee, and just kind of focusing on easy throws. I just don't think they're going to be really challenging the Raiders down the field, but it is a good matchup for Baker Mayfield against this Las Vegas secondary that does grade out as one of the worst ones in the NFL, but just only a couple days of preparation with a playbook that you're unfamiliar with. Just a total stay away. If props do happen to show up, I really doubt they will.
All right, All Day 37 says he is warming up and taking all the snaps. See ya, talk to me.
Yeah, I don't think that's right, though. I think it's John Wolford that's taking snaps with the first team. Again,
okay.
we don't know for sure, but that's what I'm seeing.
Well, I'll tell you what, let me add in on this part. Doesn't matter which quarterback is going to play for the Rams, because in the last 3 weeks, Chandler Jones of the Raiders ranks number 1 in the NFL in quarterback pressures. You know who's number 2? Max Crosby of the Raiders. This defense has been destroying quarterbacks over the last 3 weeks. They have completely changed the way that they get after the quarterback. Yeah, take a look right here, Snake. Good job right there. I mean, they've added 11% of pressure percentage in just the last 3 weeks alone. They have more sacks in the last 3 weeks than they did in weeks 1 through 10 this year. They have gone crazy. And look out, whichever quarterback is playing. But that being said, that's why I like Cam Akers in that run game, because they're going to use the draw to keep that defensive pass rush on them. So just pay attention to that. But yeah, their defense has been going crazy. And GN in the chat, I agree.
I'm sorry. I just read something and it just hit my funny bone, and I apologize. Joe says, let's call it Club Glory Days because Sia got in 3 times last season. That is fantastic. Oh, that is fan-freaking-tastic. And by the way, everybody that watches the Early Edge, part of the Early Edge family, you know how close me and Alex are. We can tease on social media, but everybody knows how close we are. So it hurts me when we disagree on a show like we did earlier today. And Alex said, one of my favorite dudes in the whole NFL is Max Crosby when he sacks a quarterback. And what did I say? He's my least favorite player because it's so annoying. However, tonight could be the first night all year. I want to see sack after sack after sack, and that stupid celebration that he does all the time that drives me bananas. But not tonight it won't. Not tonight it won't. But we're having other issues here at the show. Whenever I let you guys do what you want at home, you never do what you're supposed to do. We've got a huge audience tonight. Big audience, correct, AB?
Yep.
Big audience, as usual, right? but I can't get 500 likes for all the hard work prop stars put in today, putting the goose together. The same game parlay, which last week we hit plus
625.
I can't remember. What was it?
625.
Oh, yes, plus 625.
In 2 consecutive weeks, Coach.
2 straight weeks. My apologies, Alex. My apologies. But if you people at home don't want it, you know what? Don't hit the like button. That's fine with me. We're still going to play it because we already have it. But if you don't want to earn it, it's completely up to you. But we are 3 minutes from the top of the hour. And we are going to, because we got all the props we can talk about because they're all Raiders props. But we've got a few things to get to. So we're going to do the gym. And if we get to 500 during that, then we'll do the goose afterwards. And then for those people coming at the top of the hour, we'll redo our best bets because there are several of them. Okay, good. God, it usually always hits 500 anyway. Yeah, Todd, I agree. We have a lot of new people tonight, though. A lot of new fans tonight. But water's warm. Come on in. All right, we're going to do the gym. And we've teased a lot about it, but I feel like we've kind of found a nice sweet spot. What are you doing? Did you just shoot that into the garbage?
I did. Drilled it, too, from downtown.
It's like I work with 6-year-olds.
Yeah,
literally 6-year-olds. All right. So, Alex, I don't know if anybody heard, but you got in the club for a second time. And so now I guess we have to call – what did you want to be called?
Proppy 2 times.
Proppy 2 times. See, it's driving Sia nuts. He's no times right now. All right, Proppy 2 times.
Proppy 2 times, Sia goose egg. And I also want to mention to the great people of SportsLine. Thank you, Sia. I want to mention to the great people of SportsLine. I want Coach to hear this as well. AB is aware of this, that we gave out our second entry to the great Noah Stanley, who I was told is currently in the chat. So Noah and I have been chopping it up at Club Cache. It's been a tremendous experience, and just hope that you can get in on it sometime, Sia. But
it was so cool, Alex. I walked in, I dapped up Noah, I dapped you up, I dapped up AB. Maestro's over there kicking. Maestro's wearing chains now. That's how long he's been in the club. He's wearing chains in Club Cache. Don't worry, see ya. All right, Alex, who's your pick tonight, big boy?
Yeah, we're going. It's officially tight end week at Prop Stars HQ. We are going to Foster Moreau, the product from LSU. This guy has 12 career touchdowns, 2 touchdowns this season. No Darren Waller. He has nearly 100% route participation. He's on the field for pretty much every single car drop back. Love his chances to get in the end zone. Plus 1,200. That'll be my third ticket of the season, and then Sia will have nothing to brag about.
Well, that is very, very true. By the way, Sumner in the chat, he brings up a good point. You know what? I'm not going to read his yet. I'm going to wait. But he brings up a very, very good point. By the way, Sia, did you see what Noah wrote in the chat?
I did not.
He said it was great hanging with the crew in Club Cache.
Ouch.
I didn't. Yeah, it hurt. Sorry. All right. So Proppy 2 times has Foster Moreau. Now, AB, you're the next up, big boy, because you are the next one to get into Club Cache. Who do you like tonight?
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what, seeing Maestro in the club last night, he was smoking on that in the club pack, getting after it, had his chains going. Maestro was fired up. Look, I'm fired up too, and we're going with your boy, Zamir White of the Las Vegas Raiders, because you know what's going to happen when they get down to the end zone? They're going to throw the first one to Devontae Adams. Incomplete. Jalen Ramsey's got him. Second one, you run it with Josh Jacobs. Stuff him at the 1. But you know what? Zamir White is your back that is going to get the ball in the end zone. We're going with the Georgia boy in this one. He's going to get the job done tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just got a little mixed drink there from the club. They always bring it straight to my table. All right. So
the service is impeccable.
Cheers,
What's
Coach.
That?
I said the service is impeccable.
It really is. All right. I believe that I am up next. I got in a few weeks ago. It's felt good. It really has. But I'm going to go because I believe in the Maestro. When the Maestro isn't here, I like to channel what he thinks. And when he said this morning that somebody else has got to be a target because Devontae Adams could be covered at the start of the game. So on the other side, who am I going with? Let me check my notes. Mac Hollins. Plus 1,100, a little chalky. But, hey, when you're trying to get your friends into the club, you can go with chalk. So I'm going to go to Matt Collins. We're going to cash his reception over 3.5. And one of those 4 will be the first touchdown of the game in SoFi Stadium. And I promise you, if I was unbearable before, you do not want me to get in a second time. Because what Proppy is doing would be considered tame compared to what I would do if I get in a second time. Now, I'm looking at my notes. Oh, Uncle Dave, No, not yet. See ya. Not yet. 2-2 Atwell for Uncle Dave plus 1,900. At least he's playing the game correctly. And then Snake, can you show your face, please?
Snake.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm saving you for the Maestro spot. See ya. So in the chat, Sumner said, "How do we not pick Van Jefferson in a game that Van Jefferson is playing in when this was originally the Van Jefferson Memorial pick?"
And you know what? That's exactly what I thought. So I went with Van Jefferson plus 1,700. I mean, with the quarterback situation, who knows who the ball is going to get thrown to tonight? So I thought plus 1,700 Van Jefferson. Why not go with the throwback?
Tell you what, you're smart. You run the brand. You're on the sticks. You can do 5 things at one time. I think it's your turn. I really, really do. But
it looked like Snake was in the back room of the club up there. It was dark, boy.
We never know what Snake is doing on his own time, but we respect it. Okay, now see ya. I'm trying to respect you by saving you for last. You know what? They save the best for last. So you, sir, who you like tonight? Who do you like tonight?
I mean, okay, so speaking of the best, I do want to point out that I did go 8-0 last week. And if I get this prop tonight, I have pitched a no-hitter, 9-0. So this is a pretty important night. As far as it pertains to the gem, though, I don't have a hill to stand on. I have 3 hills to stand on. And this season, I'll create a new hill, of course, and it's going to be with my guy, speaking of tight ends, Tyler Higbee at plus 1,700. I really like sort of I didn't mention this on the front end, but this is a great matchup against the Raiders. Now, Tyler Higbee hasn't scored a touchdown this year, but I think regression is coming. And if you believe in regression, this would be the game that Tyler Higbee would score a touchdown, probably the first touchdown. I do want to point out, because I've mentioned some pop culture references over my last few weeks. He was born in 1993. The best, or the number one song in 1993 was Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You." But the second most popular song in 1993 was "Whoop, There It Is" by Tag Team. That's what we're playing in the club tonight on full blast.
Wow. You like to throw all these hip hop references out there. Raise your hand if you've had a hip hop group make a theme song for you. A little group called the Yin Yang Twins. See ya.
What?
Boom. Boom.
All right.
Boom. 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 It's a great intro, isn't it, Alex?
I do have to say.
It is.
It's a banger. Yeah. You've got a banger entrance song. You really do.
If Sia is able to get into the club tonight, word is that Little Geppetto might make a song about Sia getting in the club.
Ooh, John says, "Oh snap! Oh snap!"
My man said whisper song.
God, I love doing this so much. I can't even tell you how much I enjoy this. Damn it, do I love this. Shot Prop says, "Has Little Geppetto made a song for you, Coach?" No, he has not. We're not that close, apparently. We're close, but not that close. All right. I believe somebody in the chat who's always taking care of us says we've hit 500 likes. Have we, AB, hit 500 likes?
We have. We are good to go.
All right. So it's that time of the show. And you know when those sound effects start, you want to take the little pencil down, take your little paper down. We got 10 minutes to get this in. So, Prop Stars is going to come up. Let's go with the goose.
There's the goose on my shirt. As you recall from last Monday, Goose dropped his very own apparel line live here on SportsLine. This is another featured shirt from the goose. This is his parlay. First up, Davante Adams, anytime touchdown scorer. I love to build these same-game parlays around a guy that I think is going to get into the end zone. Then we've got the Rams to score under 28 points, the Raiders to score at least 17 points, Derek Carr to throw for a minimum of 200 yards, Kyron Williams to run for under 40 rushing yards, Brandon Powell, who we didn't have a chance to talk about tonight, but I do like, over 5 receiving yards, and Davante Adams to have at least 75 yards. Put it all together, plus 330.
Just read the chat what Den, DeJaren, Rex said. Line of the night. I'll be fired if I say it out loud, but damn it, that's funny. That is funny. All right. That is funny. All right, it's time to do our best bets. If you came in late at the top of the hour, it's okay. It's never too late. We got a bunch of best bets for the game tonight, even though there are very few, if any, Rams props to pick from. 15 seconds. See ya. Go.
Give me Tyler Higbee over 27.5 receiving yards. It's a great matchup against the Raiders, likely negative game script at certain portions of this game, particularly at the end. And he's been a target guy. And with the questions at quarterback, I think Tyler Higbee is going to be that guy that they're going to lean on.
Prop stars, go.
Give me Devontae Adams over 88.5 receiving yards. This guy has been absolutely phenomenal recently, averaging 14 targets and 135 yards per game over his last 5 games. Eclipsed this in 4 of those 5 games. Until someone shows they can slow him down, I'm going to ride this guy, especially under 90 yards. Love me some Devontae Adams over 88.5 receiving yards.
Damn it. All right, AB, talk to me.
Yep. Raiders team touchdowns over 2.5. Raiders second half team total over 11.5. I saw in the chat that it has moved to 12.5 now. I would still play it. Anything under 13. And Cam Akers longest rush over 11.5 yards. And really quickly, once this show ends, go to Twitter really quickly at SportsLine. I understand that there is a nice surprise waiting for everyone right there. So that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Very, very good. Quickly, RJ White's on the Raiders when they were -6. They're only like -6.5. It hasn't moved that much at all. Then the Maestro, he loves Mac Hollins over 3.5 catches, -119. All right. So much fun. Isaiah in the chat says, you boys aren't on here long enough. Well, thank you, Isaiah. We have a great time. And don't tell anybody. It's a dirty little secret in sports betting. It doesn't have to be serious. You're allowed to have a little bit of fun. It's not against the rules unless you're old people selling stuff for $1,000 in Vegas. But, hey, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. All right. So, Snake, we're going to put the best bets up on the screen. You know I like to end every one of my shows where I'm asking my cappers, my guys, what's the number one most important thing they're looking forward to in tonight's game? Use this information for tonight or into the future. It all matters. It all matters. See you. Start us off.
Are the Raiders playoff contenders? I mean, I think if they win tonight, we are having a really interesting conversation about the entire AFC playoff race, but that will include the Raiders after tonight.
Okay. Alex, what about you?
I'm looking forward to a grown man matchup between Jalen Ramsey and Devontae Adams. Mano y mano, 2 of the best players at their respective positions. Can't wait to see these guys duel.
Now, I will say this, though. When digging a little deeper, Jalen Ramsey tied for the NFL lead in touchdown passes allowed. Not having a great year, but we know how great he can be. AB, talk to me.
Yep. So for the 300 people that just left because the best bets were up, I hate it that you're going to miss this. Brad Rogers is the referee tonight, and he is number 2 in defensive pass interference called in the NFL this season. He's number 2 in offensive pass interference called this season. Overs with him are hitting at almost 70%. Expect scoring.
Ooh, this might be one of those, as Mikey likes to tell us, one of those games we wait to see how the flow's going and maybe bet it live. And speaking of live, go over to CBS Sports HQ. There's going to be an entire show, EK, the Maestro, a lot of people live betting football, basketball, and anything live tonight. So go check that out. We're trying to build something here across all the day and all of the night. And we're just a little part of it. We might be the best part of it, but we're just a little part of it. Damn it, I love this show. All right, you know what time it is. Give me my single, baby. Give me my single. There's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. World Cup is back tomorrow, boys and girls. I'm here for it. You've got your marching orders. See what I did there? Let's send all of these Thursday night football tickets straight to the pay window for my entire crew. Damn it, do I love them all. See you in the job. Even though we know. AB, our 5-tool player. Proppy 2 times doing work. And, of course, Jake the Snake on the 1s and the 2s. I am the coach. Tell all your friends you want to have a good time. You want to learn a little bit. Be educated, entertained. There's only one spot, only one brand, only one show. Right here. Early Edge. Good luck.